Have you ever felt like you're not as smart as other people, even though deep down something doesn't quite add up? Like you notice things others miss, or think in ways that don't always fit the crowd, but you still doubt yourself anyway. The truth is, intelligence doesn't always look the way we expect it to. It's not just about grades, quick answers, or sounding impressive. In fact, some of the clearest signs of intelligence are the ones people overlook the most. And chances are, you might already have them. Let's break this down. 1. You overthink, but in a specific way. You've probably been told that overthinking is a bad thing. Maybe people have said you think too much or make things more complicated than they need to be. And sometimes it does feel exhausting. Your mind going through scenarios, replaying conversations, analyzing decisions from every angle. But here's the thing. There's a difference between anxious overthinking and analytical thinking. If your thoughts naturally go deeper, if you question things instead of accepting them at face value, that's not a weakness. That's your brain trying to understand patterns, consequences, and meaning. And that kind of mental depth is often a quiet form of intelligence most people don't even recognize. 2. You often feel like you don't know enough. At first, this might seem like insecurity. You might compare yourself to others who speak confidently or seem certain about everything. Meanwhile, you hesitate, second guess, or feel like there's always more you don't understand. But this is where it gets interesting. Truly intelligent people tend to be more aware of how much they don't know. Instead of jumping to conclusions, they stay open, curious, and cautious. This mindset keeps you learning, growing, and adapting, while others stay stuck thinking they've already figured everything out. 3. You notice small details others miss. You might pick up on subtle changes in someone's tone, body language, or mood. You notice inconsistencies in stories, patterns in behavior, or tiny details that seem irrelevant to others, but stand out clearly to you. At times, this can make you feel out of place, like you're seeing things no one else talks about. But this kind of awareness is a strong cognitive skill. It means your brain is constantly processing information on multiple levels, connecting dots in ways that aren't always obvious. And over time, this ability becomes a powerful advantage in understanding people and situations. 4. You enjoy being alone, but not because you have to. You don't always need constant noise, validation, or distraction. In fact, some of your best thoughts come when you're alone, when things are quiet and your mind has space to wander, reflect, or explore ideas. And this is where it shifts from preference to insight. Being comfortable alone often means you have a rich internal world. You're not just reacting to external stimulation, but generating your own thoughts, perspectives, and ideas. That ability to think independently, without needing constant input, is one of the strongest signs of real intelligence. 5. You question social norms, but quietly. You've probably had moments where something felt off about how people behave, even if no one else seemed to question it. Certain traditions, expectations, or unwritten rules don't always make sense to you, but you don't always say it out loud. Most people follow systems without thinking twice. But you pause. You observe. You ask yourself why things are the way they are. And even if you don't challenge it openly, that internal questioning shows independent thinking. It means you're not just absorbing the world, you're actively analyzing it. 6. You adapt faster than you realize. When situations change unexpectedly, you might feel overwhelmed at first. But after a while, you adjust. You find a way to make sense of things, shift your approach, and move forward, even if it wasn't your original plan. And this is where many people underestimate themselves. Intelligence isn't just about knowing, it's about adapting. Being able to process new information, let go of outdated assumptions, and adjust your behavior is a form of mental flexibility. And in a world that constantly changes, that ability matters more than raw knowledge. 7. You value deep conversations over small talk. You can do small talk when needed, but it drains you quickly. Surface-level conversations feel repetitive, predictable, and sometimes meaningless. What you really enjoy are conversations that go deeper, about ideas, perspectives, experiences, or the way people see the world. This preference says a lot more than it seems. It means your mind is naturally drawn to depth, complexity, and meaning. You're not just exchanging words. You're trying to understand, connect, and explore. And that desire for depth is a strong indicator of intellectual curiosity. 8. You're harder on yourself than others are. You might notice your own mistakes more than anyone else does. You replay things in your head, think about what you could have done better, or feel like you're not reaching your full potential, even when others think you're doing fine. But here's what most people don't realize. This kind of self-awareness, when balanced, is actually a strength. It shows that you have internal standards, the ability to reflect, and the drive to improve. While it can feel like self-doubt, it's often a sign that your mind is constantly evaluating and refining itself. 9. You don't feel smart, and that's the biggest sign. This might be the most surprising one. You don't walk around thinking you're smarter than others. In fact, you might feel average or even below average at times. You see your flaws clearly, and you're aware of your limitations. But this is exactly what sets you apart. People who overestimate their intelligence tend to stop growing. Meanwhile, those who stay grounded, who question themselves, and who remain open to learning, keep evolving. So if you don't feel smart, it might not be because you aren't, but because you understand intelligence better than most people do. Intelligence isn't always loud, obvious, or easy to measure. Sometimes it shows up as curiosity, self-awareness, deep thinking, or the ability to see what others overlook. And if you recognize yourself in some of these signs, there's a good chance you've been underestimating your own mind this whole time. The real question isn't whether you're smart. It's whether you're paying attention to the ways you already are. If this made you think differently about yourself, take a moment to reflect on which sign hit the closest. And if you want more insights like this about how people think, behave, and grow, make sure to stick around.